Hey folks, we're out here again to put a few rounds downrange, and I'm just shooting the my rifles with the new trigger from CMC just to make sure that they run fine. I'm sure they will, but you know, it's always good to run your rifles through a new trigger just to make sure it's good to go. So what we have here is this is a custom kind of put together job, PSA parts, a lot of it, great bolt carrier. You can see kind of the configurations I like to run are pretty much the same. I'm not a super great carbine shooter. I just like having these around in the event I need them. Aim point magnifier, a Vortex 1x4 scope on this one. This is an Adams Arms piston factory rifle, and this is direct impingement, and heavy barrels, great setup for me. And you guys would have seen my other setup last time I was out here. Gonna run some rounds through these just to get an idea on how that trigger runs. Did want to talk about one thing here. The media is all big on these scary rifles and how scary they look, and they would rather we go to these type of magazines than these, and they're scared about the rifle itself. And I would tell you, this is basically a 22 caliber rifle compared to a 45 caliber bullet, cartridge. You can see that basically bullet to bullet, the top part, for those of you that don't understand, this is 230 grain, that's 55 grain. Very tiny. This is not a main battle rifle. This is not an assault rifle. This is a civilian version of the M16. It's an M4. This M4 pattern carbine. They do not fire fully automatic. They fire one shot at a time, just like my handgun. One shot at a time. Here's the handgun I'm going to be putting rounds through today. That is a 1911, and it shoots this great big old bullet in this great big old cartridge. So anyway, just give you a little bit of a thought comparison there. For those of you who may not know, these are not for war. These are not weapons of war. Any politician that says that has never been to war and knows nothing about firearms, which would be most of them. The other thing that I would tell you is that the Second Amendment was not created so that I could go hunting. It was not created so that I could protect myself or my family. It was created so that American citizens could be armed in the event of a government that exceeded its mandate and was oppressive. And you can argue that we're starting to see that, or we have seen that. So anyway, just enough said. Second Amendment protects the First Amendment, and for those of you who believe that it's not true, wait till the Second Amendment's taken away and see what happens. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. High on that one. Okay. Nice thing about the piston rifle is it doesn't get as dirty as my direct impinged rifle. Yeah, I dropped a couple of those. These three were not great pulls. Target on the far left. get my sling off with all the crap on. Let's go see what we got. 10 rounds. Far left. Another thing on the AR-15, which I find kind of interesting, is I have people tell me, non-gun people all the time, well, we're fine if you have one. We just don't want the bad guys to have one. And that just speaks to me of the fallacy of people thinking that the government can control who has one. Okay, so shooting from to the left, and I could have done a much better job here. The headshot groups went a little bit left, but I don't know if that's the rifle or if that's the shooter. I'm thinking it's me. Vortex scope, 1x4, pretty nice setup. You know, if you're looking for something that's top of the line, you probably want to go with ACOG, but if you're just looking for something that's great value and a good shooter, highly recommend it. Black reticle's better. Hot. That boy's getting warm. So what is that? 10, 20, 30, 60? Not many rounds through. Okay, so if I can just not pull left like I did here, up here, that'd be great. It's not bad. So I have some new sights on this 1911, the same front sight, but if you can see the rear, I had night sights on it before and I wasn't a big fan of having night sights on the rear and a fiber optic front, and this is more of a competition gun, even though these fiber optics are sweet for anything. So I'm going to see where it's hitting. Come on, dude. When it comes to accuracy, it's hard to beat the 1911. That trigger is incredible. So now I'm going to try the headshots on that same target. We're roughly 10 yards. See where that puts me. Okay. It's not a lot different than it used to be. It's definitely not higher, which is what I was concerned about. I definitely can't shoot for crap today. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Second target from the left. Gonna go with center mass. See how well I can hit him from this distance. Okay, should be 8 rounds, 3 Charlies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 Charlies, 4 Alphas, 25 yards. This thing runs sweet. Jeez. Just feels easy to shoot. Here we go. Heads. Did I go in the head or did it go above? I went dry. I knew it. You gotta get a better grip, Dave. round magazines. 10-round magazine next. Let's get your buddy next door. And folks, I gotta tell you, the super incredible trigger here, the CMC 3.5 flat drop-in trigger. It is non-adjustable. It works like a champ. There's almost no trigger pull. It's 3.5 pounds. It's really nice. There's a really short reset. It's pretty sweet reset actually, and back on. And so put a couple hundred through him, put a couple hundred through my Adams Arms piston driven rifle, just to see how it ran.